And just like that, we're live.
Hell yeah.
How's everybody doing, man? How's everybody doing out there? You guys know me. I'm Tom Owen. It's been a while since I've been on here doing podcasts, guys. It's really been some time. Life, you guys know how it is, man. Life has ups and downs. And this last 5 or 6 years for me have been really trying. There's been a lot of downs, but things turn around. Whenever you're going down for so long, just know that things are going to turn up. I mean, you could be having the worst time for so long, everything's not going right, but man, that means that something's going to turn around for you and things are going to start going good. So, hey, I'm glad to be doing a podcast again. Guys, today I have a special guest with me today. It's a young man that I've known since he was a young man on the mat, when I was a young man myself. This is Gavin Marshall, guys. We got Gavin Marshall on today. A lot of you guys know Gavin from his dad, maybe. His dad is a guy that all of us know locally. He's one of my old training partners. He's a guy that I look up to locally. His dad is Doug Marshall, Doug the Rhino Marshall, and all you guys out there know Doug. And now time flies by, guys, and I'm here with his son today, which is a real trip for me. It's an honor to me. And man, Gavin, how you doing, dude?
I'm doing all right, dude. I'm just excited that you have me here, get to talk bullshit.
This is cool for me, man. Gavin, I've known you, Gavin, and I have known your dad, and I'm really, really good friends with your grandpa, Doug Marshall Sr., the Wizard. And I just want to say peace out to the Wizard, because I know the Wizard's going to be watching this show. And
Hell
man,
yeah.
the Wizard, man, he's honestly is one of my best friends, dude. He's a guy that grew up with my dad, and he's a guy from this local area, Doug Marshall Sr. If you guys don't know him, man, he's one of the coolest dudes that I've ever met in my life. And when I'm having my worst times in life, and just recently I went over there and I visited your grandpa, and the Wizard, man, Doug Marshall Sr. Hey, dude, I got a lot of love for that dude, man. I really do, man. I really got a lot of love for that guy. He's played a tremendous part of my life, whether he knows it or not. So your grandpa, man, that's a good dude right there, man. And your grandpa's so proud of you, and he's proud of your dad, and he's proud of your uncle Blake. And man, I've known all three of you guys, yourself since you were a baby, your uncle Blake, that's Doug's younger brother, and then
Yep.
your dad, Doug Marshall, which is a guy that I've known since I was a young man. This is cool, man. This is really cool. So Gavin, how's life going, man?
It's going great. I'm just recently moved back to Visalia about back in April, going to school, helping my dad run the gym, training people over there. We got a bunch of fighters, up and coming guys. I'm one of them. And honestly, life's just been fun. We're just doing it.
You're doing it, dude. How old are you now, bro?
I'm 22. I'll be 23 in April.
Oh my goodness, man. You don't know how old that just made me feel, bro.
I hear that from
Oh
everybody. Everyone,
man.
looking at the comments on the post that you made, everyone's like, "That's Gavin? What the hell?" Like,
Oh, it's a trip, dude. Hey man, I remember you, man. I'm thinking it was Jabushi the first time I might have seen you and met you running around on the mats way back in the day. When was it Jabushi? Do you remember? Do you have any like memory of those days or what?
I don't. I don't know, like the first time I ever saw you, but I remember always going to the box and seeing you there, and then like you'd always have like the wooden swords that you guys would train with, and you'd always like fuck around with me, and I would always be out in the parking lot just being a menace.
Man, dude, you grew up on the mats, bro. It's a trip because your family, like your dad, I have a lot of respect for your dad. Even though we don't train together now, we did train together for quite some time. And your dad, Doug Marshall, even before this local MMA scene started, like I knew about your dad from. Even though this podcast is for Gavin here, I got to talk about your dad, man, because your dad has a special place in this local MMA scene and the fighting scene altogether. But it was really back in a time. I mean, man, dude, your dad is an OG in this game when it comes to fighting. But even before the MMA scene started, like I knew your dad from when we were young, early men. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
your dad, life is life, and it is what it is. and your dad went through some tough times as a young man, and through those tough times, your dad, way before he got into any kind of MMA fight or anything like that, he was, he had gotten in some street fights and some fights like that, some brawls in life, which happen in life, especially in the area that we live in. And man, your dad took something into that MMA ring that most people did not have, dude. He had something that most people didn't have, and what I mean by that is there's something that you get from when you get in street fights, and I'm not pumping up street fights or anything like that, but there's something that you get through getting in fights like that, and through your wins and your losses, there's something that you get that you just don't have as a guy coming into the ring. You could be a young man coming into the ring out of the best camp in the world, but and then you have to go through those experiences in the ring, if you know what I'm saying. You got to go through the wins and the losses to get hit for the first time. There's a lot of things you go through as a fighter. So anyways, man, yeah, that's a lot of ramping about your dad. Anyhow, you're his son. At a young age, you saw your dad going into this professional fight scene. Do you remember how old you were when you saw this start?
My first time ever truly realizing what he did, I think, was back in 2007. I was about 7. He was defending his light heavyweight belt against Ariel Gondula. And my mom actually took me to a local pizza shop. And she's like, hey, we're going to go watch your dad fight. And I was like, well, that's kind of weird. You know what I mean? Like, because I would always see him training, and I had no idea what the fuck he was doing. He was just beating the bag up, beating guys up. I didn't really understand it. And then seeing him do it on TV in front of thousands and thousands of people, then it really, really clicked in my brain, and I was like, whoa, like this guy's a badass,
Yes, dude, your dad. It was really something else watching him get in there for the first time. And when I saw him, when we were way back in the day at the early Jabushi days, that was with Mike Sir.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people know Mike Sir. He's an old school martial artist from this area. Jabushi was one of the first schools around here that we all got involved in. That was where I first met your dad, like on the martial arts scene. And so when I knew that he was going to step into that cage and do this MMA thing on the first time, I was like, this is going to be interesting, man. This is really, really going to be interesting, because these guys are going to step into the ring with a guy that not just does he have a little bit of fighting skill, but he's got experience from fighting. So, yeah, it was cool, man. Watching your dad go through all that stuff was awesome. Also, your uncle Blake is another guy that I really spent a lot of time in the gym with. And Blake, partly a lot of this with you guys comes from your grandpa, the Wizard, because the Wizard, Doug Marshall Sr. was always, man, dude, that's a really good dad and grandfather right there, because he was always interested in keeping you guys in something that was positive in your life. And martial arts is a positive thing for any young man or young woman. Martial arts is a truly positive thing. But Blake, I saw your uncle Blake, dude, I saw him go through traditional martial arts. I saw him gain a black belt under a traditional. Yeah. Yep, under a legit black belt in Taekwondo, and then later on I saw him go through Aikido with Master Tan, which was another very, very legit traditional martial artist. And now Blake, your uncle, he has his own school going. Is that what I hear?
Yeah, he actually, I wouldn't say parted ways with us, but he let us know about a couple months ago that he had an opportunity to get a hold of his own spot and kind of start his own thing. And from what I've heard from people training there, it's pretty legit. He's doing what he does best, being a good coach.
Hey, man, you know what? Whatever happens, I've seen all kinds of things like that happen in my time, dude. Whatever happens, you guys are family, and I wish all of you guys the best. You know what I mean? You know what's up, dude.
That's all that matters. It's family, Like,
it's all that matters, dude. Yeah. Hey, and Blake, he deserves to do that. You know what I mean? He spent enough time on the mat. I think he spent enough time and money on the mat and trained with the right people that he deserves to do that, something like that. And hey, you know what? Life is going to tell you what happens, and it is what it is. We can only love each other. It's a family thing when it comes to something like that.
Exactly.
Now, Gavin, yourself, man, what did you say? You were 20? How old?
22.
22 years old, man. You are a young man, dude. Man, dude.
Just
Now,
starting, just getting it going.
yeah, but you're just starting. But dude, I'll say this over and over. Dude, I remember being on the mat before getting ready for my first fight. I'm 47 right now. I fought my first time at 28, and I remember you being just a young kid up to my knee, running around on that mat and just having the time of your life, dude. You were, anytime I saw you on the mat as a young man, dude, you were having the time of your life. The dojo, you were brought up in dojos, not just one, not just two, but many different dojos around this area. I mean, from an early age, you were seeing jiu-jitsu action, judo action. You were seeing Master Tan doing his Aikido.
Yep.
You were seeing straight Muay Thai, straight boxers. And then at some point, we started getting into this cage fighting with the Gladiator Challenge and the WEC, and we started mixing things up. Dude, this is back in the local early days. You were a young man, and you just stayed in the dojo throughout that whole time?
Basically, the only time I really stopped training was when I ended up moving back to the coast for a little bit because I had to have a hip operation, but that was only 2 or 3 years out of the gym. And then once I graduated, I actually started training Muay Thai at a place over in Slough called Paragon. And once I kind of started getting the feel for it again, I was like, fuck it. I gotta move back to Visalia and get it going. You know what I mean? But I was thinking about it the other day. The first time I really started training was at Samurai Dojo back when I was 7 or 8 years old. I was training jiu-jitsu with Mark De La Cruz, got my yellow belt, and I just remember that being the most fun I've ever done in my life.
Dude, so Samurai Dojo, dude, that's in Exeter, California, guys. That's one of the old school gyms around here as well. Dude, that's old school days right there. How old were you, did you say, when you started training jiu-jitsu?
I was about 7, little guy.
7 years old, and you got your start in jiu-jitsu with Mark De La Cruz, a cool dude. That's actually where I go and train now if I want to get a little jiu-jitsu in. Because, man, dude, my body, man, at this age of 47, it probably shouldn't be this way, but at my age of 47, guys, dang, dude, from doing the skateboarding, the BMX racing, the mountain biking, snowboarding, then getting into straight jiu-jitsu, then trying to do MMA, dude, my body is, man, it's feeling it at this age, but you know what? I wouldn't change it for the world, because those times that I got through those experiences, hey, man, we can live and we can die. Any day could be our day. You never know. You got to live it, man, and do the things that you want to do. And when your mind and your heart is telling you to do something, guys, dude, I think it's important, man. You got to follow those things, and you can feel it when there's something that you want to do out there. You can feel it, right? I mean, you had to feel something calling you towards that ring when you fought recently.
Oh, 100%. It's always been, I'd say, a dream. I always said, I've had a lot of people in my family tell me they don't want me to fight, they don't want me to do this, they don't want me to do that. But I always thought, man, it really suck if I grew up to be 60 years old and been like, I could have been the best, or, world champion or whatever. So I was like, we're going to go step in there one time and see how it makes me feel. And that is now the most fun I've ever had in my entire life.
Dude, hey, man, you did good, bro. I was so stoked, bro, when I heard that you were going to be fighting. And man, you know what? Like, the fight, I don't care what anybody says, dude. People can say whatever with wins and losses, draws, whatever the thing is. Hey, there's nobody that can say anything unless you have stepped into that ring yourself in front of people live. And then I believe if you step into the ring live like that and you get that experience, you won't talk crap about somebody, because, dude, it's something. I don't care, man. You could go in there. It could be a dude that goes in there and gets the crap beat out of them badly and gets totally embarrassed. And I'm still going to have respect for that dude. I'm going to have a respect for that guy that I won't have for the regular guy, because getting in front of people like that, dude, it's really something else. There's nothing in life like it, man. I know there's things that are great like that, but really, when you get inside of a ring and you're fighting in front of people, and nowadays it's a little different than it was in the past, because now with the technology, dude, there's so many camera angles that you probably didn't even see, that me and you have both not seen of your fight that other people have.
Yeah.
Luckily, I got to see some clips that you showed me. Dude, you look great out there. You look good out there, man. Was that your? That was to me. That was the first fight I've seen of you. But was that your first fight in a competition?
Ever. Yep. Never did point Muay Thai, no Muay Thai tournaments. I just trained really hard, and me and my dad were sitting on the couch like a couple months ago, and John Cho actually sent him an email and was like, "Hey, do you have any 185er fighters and like a 265 for one of our heavyweight guys?" And he like looks at me, he's like, "You want to fight?" And I like looked at him and I was like, "As long as you think I'm ready." And he's all, "You've been ready." He's like, I'm gonna send him a confirmation email, and I was like, "Fuck it, let's run it."
Dude, and your dad, hey man, your dad, he knows what he's talking about. He's not going to steer his own son in the wrong direction.
Hell
I mean,
no.
your dad's been around and he's seen plenty of dudes do it. He's seen people train and get ready for these fights. So, hey, if I was getting ready for a fight, especially a kickboxing match in this local area, I'll definitely be stopping into your dad's gym. I know that had to have helped you big time right there. It looks like your dad's gym is going real well. Talk a little bit about that for me.
Oh, it's actually going super good. Um, we've actually so we used to do just Muay Thai 3 times a week, but now we got 5 days a week of Muay Thai. I'm running cardio kickboxing classes in the morning at 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. if anyone wants to show up. We're doing fighter circuit training, cardio intervals on the bag, and then if anyone wants to do some sparring rounds, I'll watch and make sure everything goes good. Um, in the past week, we've actually had 4 or 5 new students come in, and guys that seem real eager, you know, and it's going well. We got Visalia Fight Series November 12th. We got 2 of our guys, actually one guy, one girl fighting. We got the mean Jackie Green making her long-awaited MMA debut. I'm super excited for her. She's fucking badass. And then our guy Drew Thor, he's gonna finally defend his cruiserweight title. That guy's a fucking beast, you know.
You guys have a lot of beast training in there, man. When I went in there and I was watching your dad teach these kids, like, man, dude, the experience and everything and the training routine that you guys were going through looked pretty legit to me. And I mean, your dad knew how to fight already back in the beginning, but your dad reached out to the right people. And does he still communicate and talk with like the shoot box and those guys from over there?
We mostly just talked to Rafael Cordero down south, so he's ranked under shoot box, but so my dad's a black belt under Rafael, so we're actually trying to plan a trip down south to King soon and go see him and get some sparring in, with all the big name guys, Martin Vittori, Vanderlei, like all the beasts.
Oh man, that's so cool. That must be like the coolest experience. You know what the cool thing, man, is for you to be able to go down there with your dad and your dad to be just welcomed right in with those people. Not
Open arms.
everybody is, bro. Not everybody out there is just welcomed into a gym like that with that kind of respect, dude. Because even those top guys, they could be a higher rank or a higher technique or whatever, but dude, they still have to look at a guy like Doug, and just all you have to do is just look at what he's done in the past and to see how legit those fights were. Wins or losses, they were all legit, man. They were in their straight gameness, and it was something that everybody wants to see. So my big question for you, Gav, I saw you first in that kickboxing fight, but is MMA in your future? Is that your plan in the future?
That's gonna be my next route. I'm gonna be trying to we're really staying in touch with the Valley Fight Series guys, and then also the 559 promoters. I'm gonna see what's going on there. I mean, I have good stand up, and I love it. I love brawl. I fight like my dad. Like I just want to go in there, win or lose, put on a good show for everybody. But I wrestled all 4 years of high school, and been training jiu-jitsu for a long time too, and I feel like my ground game's pretty good. I'm going to be able to dictate where the fight goes. I'm going to feel like anyone in these amateur organizations aren't going to want to stand with me when I start hitting them with the little gloves. So I want to be able to make sure I got the defense to keep it on the feet.
Man, I didn't know that you wrestled for 4 years. You wrestled it for 4 years in high school or what?
Yeah, I wrestled 2 years. Actually, we'll say 3 years because junior year I was out for my hip surgery, but 2 years at Mount Whitney, and then senior year over at Morro Bay High School where I graduated. Uh, Ended up finishing the season off as undefeated 170 champ over in the league over there, and I love wrestling. That's one of my favorite things.
Man, that's awesome, dude. That's a fantastic thing right there, and it's one of the most important aspects of MMA. I don't care what anybody says. You guys also, man, you guys are linked up, and you guys are affiliated with one of the best jiu-jitsu schools, really in the world. I'd have to say, I could easily say in the county that Elite Team Jiu-Jitsu is definitely the best in the county, in my opinion, when it comes to competition records and things like that. And then not only that, the teachers at Elite, like Tom Knox, they've been around this MMA scene since the very beginning. So they have a good idea how to mix the jiu-jitsu in with the MMA. But man, when you mix this whole thing together like you're going to do for your MMA fights, oh man, it's going to be great. Is there there's local promotions, and there's several local promotions right now that are in the Valley. Is there anybody that you got your eye on right now, or any promotion that you have your sights on?
Not really. I'm not going to be too specific. But all I got to say is I feel bad for the next person that I have to fight. It doesn't matter who it is, but my last fight was at 185, and I've been cutting down. So I'll definitely be around 170 for my next one. So I'm just fucking excited. I'm just excited, dude.
Heck yeah. Now, your next fight, do you already have a plan? Is it a kickboxing match, or are you going to try to just go right over to MMA?
I was talking to my dad the other day about it, and he was kind of picking my brain to see what I want to do. And I've been catching up on my wrestling the past 5 or 6 months, and I'm feeling really good. So I think I might just jump straight to MMA. I like it because amateur MMA, no headgear, small gloves, so like when I hit someone, they're gonna actually fucking feel it.
Yeah, the whole MMA scene right now trips me out. The whole local scene, especially because they call it amateur, but let me pick your brain about this a little bit. They call it amateur. It's amateur MMA, but really, when you get into MMA, amateur MMA, you're really doing the same thing as the professionals are doing, except maybe you have shin pads on, but you still got the little gloves on, and you're still doing all the other things. When me and your dad started fighting, when I'm 47 now, when I was 28, when you got into a fight back then, an MMA fight, it was just, there was no amateur scene. You were getting paid to fight, and it was considered professional. Now it seems like the promoters have figured out, a way that they can make all the money. I hate to say it, you guys that are stepping in as amateurs, you know what I mean? You're still getting the experience that you need. And if you think you want to be a professional and maybe move up the levels and get into a bigger fighting promotion like the UFC or Bellator, or there's a bunch of them out there that are professional that pay, you've got to go through these amateur fights first. So you got to be very smart about that, bro. You're a smart young man. Your dad's very smart. Your whole family is smart. I know your dad looks at this too, and I know you guys are going to take it in the right direction. Just be careful what you do. Do those amateur fights, get the experience that you need, and just don't do too many of them. You know what I mean? If you see yourself doing good in that, exactly. Yeah, if you're doing good, bro, and I know you're going to do good.
Hell yeah.
What do you think? What do you think about that?
Me and my dad were just talking about this last night, dude. I don't understand these people that want to do AMs their whole entire fucking career. You know what I mean? What's the point? So I'm going to pay you so I can fight for you and make you money, but I don't get any money, but I'm still have to go through hard training, hard fight camp, hard sparring, and tax my body for nothing. You know what I mean? I know a lot of, there's always sponsors. For my first AM fight, I had a bunch of sponsors. That was cool to make a little bit of money, but I don't understand these people that have 22 AM fights and they never want to go pro. You know, it makes me think that they think that they're not ready for the next level, or they just like to fight chumps. You know what I mean? Like, because all of us that are like all us young guys that are coming in to the AM scene, we're inexperienced. We haven't been doing it for 20 fights. You know what I mean? Like, I think your cap should be five amateur fights, and then you got to go somewhere. You know?
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it, man. I know your dad has to look at it the same way I do because he's watching it from the outside. He's seeing this whole thing go down. And dude, yeah, just be smart about it. You know, whatever you do, be smart about it. Don't take too many of those fights. And if you're doing good, you know, the good thing about having your dad in your family, I mean, it is a good thing, and people can get mad about it or whatever. But dude, hey, you can't hate on it. Hey, your dad has connections, man, and that's a good thing. You know what I mean? He has connections, and I think if your dad sees you doing the right thing in these amateur fights, and you're going at the right level and the right training, he's going to back you up 100%. All of us are going to back you up, bro, when you get into the professional fight league. And man, I just hope you. I wish the best for you. When I watch the shows going locally right now, you know, I'm even incorporated with our MMA Fight Pass show. It's just beginning, and we're having some rough times, dude. Holding an MMA fight, seeing a cage fight professionally, it's no joke. We're learning that, you know what I mean? But Archie Tovar, my partner, he doesn't give up, and he's trying to do it. But if I was you and you're wanting to get to the next level, the 559 fights with Jeremy Luchow, hey, he's been through the ups and the downs too, but he's doing a good job, and Jeremy has made good connections. He didn't just start with that. He made good connections from working from way back with us back in the day, and he stuck with it, and now he's got a legit show in the 559 fights. If I was you, dude, you can get right in there. I guarantee you can get right in there. That might be the best way to go, the best route, I think, right now. And hey, do it when you're ready, and when your dad thinks the fights are right, and when you think they're right. That's the most important thing. Go in there and do it.
Exactly. You know, I'm looking forward to it. Like what you said, it's no rush. You know, I'm only 22 years old. All I can do is go up from here. You know, but yeah, I really like the fight. I think I seen you at one of the last ones. And we talked a little bit, but yeah, I like those promotions. They seem pretty legit for like a local show. You know, always a big crowd comes out. But they have an event coming up, huh? Like in a couple days.
Yeah, dude, they got an event coming up. I think it's this next weekend, and man, it's going to be legit. Hey, it's a good event, dude. This next event's legit. Hopefully I got a couple guys I'm interviewing this week so I can get up in there. I'm going to get in there anyways and support it. You know what I mean? Because I like what Jeremy's doing. Yeah. He's doing a good thing, man. You know what I mean? I'm just getting back into these podcasts and interviews. Hey, dude, I'll tell you what, man. I'm back in, you know, whoever knows me out there, these last 5 years have been a divorce. I came down with epilepsy. Ooh. And I have seizures like every month. Hey, it's been this last 5 years or so has been a trying 5 years. And dude, the epilepsy medicine, brother, it's something else, man. The side effects are something else. It was starting to make me feel so stupid. That's why I saw you at COS. I go, you know what? I got to get my brain back fired up, dude. And like 10 years ago, Gavin, I had completed the sport medicine program out there at COS, but I didn't do any of the general ed, man. And I go, yeah, so that's why I saw you out there. I'm back there. Hey, dude, I just signed back up to complete my general ed. I'm going to see if I can get a bachelor degree in that sport medicine kinesiology, just to see if I could do it, just as an accomplishment. I got a good job at Costco. I've been there for like 28 years. But to me, just like getting a belt in jiu-jitsu or a belt in fighting, that school for me, man, is I messed around when I was young so much, Gavin. I ditched all my classes, dude. I got F's in all the classes. And dude, for some reason now at 47, I'm back in school and I'm doing great, getting A's, bro.
That's badass, dude. That's badass though.
It trips me out, man, that it took me this long to mature and do it though. Anyhow, I'm glad to see you right there at COS, dude. It's really cool seeing you. Hey, you got a backup plan. You're doing the fighting. You're going for it. You're putting your all. You're going to go as far as you can go in the fighting. But the good thing with you that a lot of guys don't do is you got a backup plan. I'm so happy to see you right there in school. Just keeping your options open, dude. And you're a smart guy. Your dad is smart. Blake is smart. And the Wizard is one of the smartest dudes I've ever met in my life.
Ever.
And I don't care with what people do in their lives, but you can tell with the dude when you're talking with him and you're bullshitting with the guy. You can just tell the different IQs in people. And hey, man, like I'll say it again, your grandpa is one of the smartest dudes I've ever met. And when I have problems, I'll go out there and I'll talk to Doug Marshall Sr. Hey, man, it might be I'll go in there with a quick stop and I'll end up leaving like 3 hours later because of the conversation I get from that dude. Yeah. So I got a lot of love for that dude, man. And yeah, it's just something else, dude. So the podcast, guys, we go about 30 minutes or so. Gavin, is there anything else? Anything else that you would like, people that you would like to thank, anybody you would like to talk about, or anything else you would like to say before we shut this baby down?
First, I want to give a shout out to you, Tom. I really appreciate, getting me on here, getting a little bit of exposure to all the local people. Shout out to my team over at Rhino Elite Fitness. They're helping me get strong and get ready for everything. And shout out to my dad, my number one supporter. And that guy's got my back through thick and thin, and he just wants me to succeed.
Oh, man, that's cool. I love your dad, man. I always got a lot of love for your dad. And if things were ever to go bad, I'm glad that I'm on your dad's side.
I swear, huh? Yeah.
Anyways, man, everybody out there, the Tom Owen Show, I'm back in action. I got a lot of great, man, dude, the Tom Owen Show, I'm not just doing martial arts like normal. We got a lot. I have some really, really cool guests coming up, guys. I have some in different walks of life, but they're all interesting walks of life. And man, just stay tuned. I'll keep you guys focused. And guys, keep an eye on Gavin Marshall. Man, dude, I can't wait to see what you do in the future, bro. And I wish you the best. And man, your family and everybody out there watching, I want to thank all you guys for watching. And Gavin, I give big thanks again for taking the time out and spending a little time with me, my friend. Everybody out there, you guys have a great night, and I'll see you soon. Thank you, Gavin.